I've got some explaining to do. Because you see, last year, back in June, I ordered those frames, and the idea was to have each of those frames have an image that I took in the past, or maybe something regarding Saiyans media within those frames. Like I said, that was in June of last year. It's August of 2022. So you could say I might have been putting it off, but what better time to actually do it than a year later and make a YouTube video out of it? I don't see why not. So I know what photos I want to use for this project. Now, there is one frame that I do have to make something for it, and that's going to be the middle frame. Now, that middle frame is going to be a poster design that I'm going to create. Now, depending when you're watching this, a video link will pop up above me on the breakdown of that poster being made. It just depends when you're watching this, so if it's not there, make sure to subscribe and you'll get notified whenever that video goes live. If it's already live, then go click the link. Why not? See the behind the scenes. But for now, I'm not going to bore you with that. I want to kind of keep this black, white, and red theme that we kind of have going on with the channel. So I know that certain photos are going to be black and white, and then other ones are going to have a bit of a red and black gradient on it. So that's the only real editing that I have to do to the photos. I know which ones I want to choose. I just have to add that on top of it, and then we can go and get it printed. Let's go do that. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is we're gonna go into Photoshop and try to mock up this wall, just so I can figure out what's going to go in each frame and which ones are going to have that black and white gradient to it and which other ones are going to be in red and black. I also need to know which photos are going to be in which frames, so this is obviously important in terms of how we're going to be exporting the frames to be printed. So going into Photoshop, I have everything set up in terms of these artboards, and these are supposed to represent each of the frames. I have each of the artboards in the correct dimensions for the corresponding frames, and they're also all in the right places, of course. Now it's time to figure out which ones are going to go in which box. Okay, so I've compiled all of the images that I know I want to use for this project. So we have this image that I created utilizing a stock photo of an old Apple computer, and then I put the original Saiyans production logo. This was before it was Saiyans Media. I think this might be one of the first logos that I've ever made, so it honestly means a lot because this is the origin of Saiyans Media, so I definitely want to put that up on the wall. Obviously, we have the brand poster that we made, and we are making a behind the scenes of me creating that, so if you want to check that out, make sure to click that link that I stated earlier. We have this photo of my girlfriend Vicky. I love this photo. It's one of the early photos that I ever really took. This was on the Nikon D200. We made a video actually where we compared the Nikon D200 to the Sony A7 Mark III. So if you want to check that video out, I'll link that up here too if you want to take a look at that. We have this photo here that kind of just encapsulates everything about the Kaizen collection and the first real legitimate collection that we did for Saiyans Media that I was truly proud of. I think it was definitely miles ahead in comparison to the Inverse collection, which was the very first collection that we ever did. I absolutely love this photo. It means a lot to me. I have this photo here, which is a random photo that I took in Atlantic City. And I don't know, I felt like it was so random that this random truck just came to the top of a parking lot that was next to the hotel that we were at. I thought it was kind of suspicious, but at the same time kind of cool because it was kind of centered right in the middle of the parking lot. Kind of tells a story in a way, so that's why I want to post this as well. We have this photo of the Buttermilk Falls that me and my girlfriend went to a few years back, I think, at this point, and absolutely love this photo. Still have to do some editing on it. This is completely raw, so this is going to be a fun time to edit. Finally, I have this photo here, which is already edited, but I'm either going to make it black and white or red and black like I stated earlier. I absolutely love this photo. I think it's such a solid photo altogether, so this is going to be a ton of fun to have up on the wall. There's also this photo here that I also took on the Nikon D200 of this koi fish in the botanical gardens. And again, one of my earlier photos that I've taken, but honestly a pretty solid one. And finally, we have this photo here, which I took in upstate New York, and I absolutely love doing astrophotography. It's a ton of fun to do. So this is honestly one of my favorite photos that I've taken, just because you can really see that Milky Way galaxy out in the distance. So absolutely adore this image. And that rounds out all of the photos. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is edit any of those raw photos that I need to kind of make some tweaks to in terms of the shadows, highlights, and all that good stuff. Then we're going to import it into the Photoshop file that I made for this mockup. And then we're going to play around with which one should have the red gradient and which one should be black and white. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. So we have our raw images edited to our liking. Now it's time to import everything that I have a feeling should go in that spot. And then from there, we'll kind of play around with it and then figure out what the pattern will be in terms of the black and white and the red and black. Okay, so looking at them all in black and white, honestly, it will probably look a lot better. The reason why I say that is because black and white, of course, is a very classy and just notorious way of showing photos. It's kind of the tried and true, and it kind of has this vintage look to it and a very stylized approach. The black and red honestly kind of takes away a bit from the photo, in my opinion, kind of just looking at them in that format. I think having them black and white and letting the middle brand poster have those touches of red within them, I think a lot more classy and tasteful way of going about it. I think adding red to 4 of these images just might be a bit too much. I think from here, we are essentially almost ready to go get these printed. I'm going to make some minor tweaks to these images, but I will not bore you with that. So without further ado, let's go get these printed. Okay, so we're on our way to Walgreens. All right, so we're pulling up to Walgreens here soon. We have 9 posters to pick up. No idea how they're going to turn out in terms of quality because obviously I've never printed from there before. So fingers crossed that they're going to look pretty good. We're going to go pick them up, bring them home, and then we'll be able to start putting them up, and fingers crossed that they look good. So let's get to it.
My bad. Really? I don't really.
Got electrolytes.
I hope they didn't forget my big poster.
Yeah.
She seemed kind of confused. Hang on. Cut the music before we get a copyright strike. Of course, Walgreens didn't, for some reason, get my poster order, even though they got the other 8 posters in. Don't ask me why, don't know what happened. I had to go home, put it on a flash drive, bring it back, and then get it printed that way. Really annoying, inconvenient, but it is what it is. Back to the video. No free promotion. With projects like this, I always have some type of vision going into it, and I honestly feel like we pretty much nailed it. There's only like 2 things that I probably would have loved to be able to fix. One of them being just the kind of like the level at which the frame actually sits. But if you don't really like focus on it too much, I personally don't really notice it, so it's not really that big of a deal. But the other thing being that I kind of wish that I had the image be a little bit lighter. I know for me, I've always struggled with translating what I see on the computer to an actual physical copy. copy, but I think I nailed the concept that I was really going for in the beginning. So I'm not really gonna complain too much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of mini project that we did for the home office. If you guys enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like down below. And if not, maybe in the next video, just make sure to subscribe and give that second video a chance. And let me know what you think. Make sure to comment the word Hall of Fame in the comments if you actually stuck through the entire video. If you just find yourself here, don't cheat. You know how this works. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, make sure to continue to strive for perfection. Thank you.